Good evening, dear professor. My name is Astrid Andazo. I'm going to talk about crash and control models. Main characteristics acquisition versus learning. Acquisition is a natural, unconscious process, while learning is conscious. Monitor. Use learning knowledge to correct the language produced. Natural order. Language rules are acquired in a predictable order. Comparisons with other theories. Chomsky Universal Grammar. Main characteristics. Innate grammar, we are all born with an innate capacity for language. Principles and parameters. Set of universal principles and language specific parameters. Similarities. Innate ability to learn a language. Difference. Creation focuses on acquisition versus learning and comprehensible input. Chomsky focused on the internal structure of language. Integration hypothesis. Key features. Modify input. Language learning occurs when learners receive input that has been modified to be comprehensible. Negotiation of meaning. Integration and negotiation of meaning facilitate language acquisition. Similarities. Both theories stress the importance on comprehensible input. Long and Christian believe that integration is crucial for learning. Difference. Long emphasize interaction and negotiation of meaning more. Krashen focuses more on the affective filter and the distraction between acquisition and learning. Thank
Error analysis. Characteristics. Mistakes are inevitable and necessary in learning process. It shows that learning is ongoing. Similarities. The main source of error is interference. For the L1, the first language, error is not only made by second language learners, but also by native speaker. Difference. Contrast analysis was not suitable for the study of SLI as it was not able to predict a large number of the error. Universal grammar characteristics. Language compete is distinguished from language performance. Language emergence naturality. Similarities. Language to acquisition involves a number of the individual and social factors with a strong effect learning outcomes in language classroom. Different. Explain the constructs of the language by means of linguistic transformation as sentence structures.
Now, we are going to see some theories and their main characteristics, similarities, and difference. First, we have the theories of interference, avoidance, error analysis, and universal grammar. Some of the main characteristics for interference is the error traced back to the first language, the phonology, vocabulary, and grammar, and it categorizes errors that can be developmental, ambiguous, and unique. All depend of the mix of the two languages. The first one, that is the mother tongue, and the second one, that is the language that it's being acquired. Also, for the avoidance, some of the main characteristics that we have is the exclude of using complicated words of structures, and it's also necessary to identify the avoidance words or structures and plan a method to help the student or the learner in the learning process. Also, we have some error analysis that said that errors are unavoidable and necessary, and mistakes can make by accident. Also, it one of the facts is due to the lack of knowledge, and it's also a positive sign of the development that it acquire of with the knowledge, and it's better to have some errors rather than a deficiency. Also, we have the universal grammar that is applied to conspicuous paradigm. The humans inherited a mental language faculty, and children develop by themselves the knowledge and a new language. Some of the some similarities that we have it's that the interference and avoidance can exclude some words with the same meaning or context, and both models tries to use always simple words. Between the similarities with interference and error analysis, we have that mistakes or errors can happen, and both models depend of the level of the language that the learner has. And also, one similarity between interference and universal grammar is that both models are developed in the human mind, and also they have a limited linguistic. For the differences, we have that interference is developed by the mix of the tongue mother language and the second language that is being acquired, and avoidance is related to the second language only. The difference between interference and error analysis is that interference make to the learned have mistakes and errors, and the error analysis distinguish the error from the mistakes. And also the interference and universal language is that interference is caused through the learning process, and universal grammar is developed by the learner.
Now, talking about the theories of avoidance, error analysis, and universal grammar, they offer distinctive perspectives. Avoidance theory posits that learners consciously or unconsciously sidestep specific language elements to avert errors, influenced by psychological factors like fear and anxiety. In a parallel vein, error analysis theory takes a systematic approach categorizing learner errors into phonological, morphological, syntactic, and semantic types to glean insights for effective language teaching. On a broader theoretical scale, universal grammar theory introduces the notion of an innate language faculty guiding language acquisition. It further incorporates the critical period hypothesis, suggesting an optimal time frame for language learning. Despite these differences, the theories shared a common ground. They all recognize the profound impact of psychological factors on language learning, such as fear and anxiety. Additionally, there's a shared emphasis on acknowledging individual differences in learning styles and strategies, and the crucial role that feedback plays in the language acquisition process. Nevertheless, distinctions exist among these theories. While avoidance theory focuses on the active avoidance of errors, error analysis theory systematically analyzes errors, providing practical insights for teaching. On the other hand, universal grammar theory delves into the innate structures guiding language acquisition and introduces the critical period hypothesis. These nuanced differences in focus and theoretical underpinnings contribute to a comprehensive understanding of language learning phenomena.
Good evening, teacher. In this part, we have error analysis and universal grammar. Error analysis investigates mistakes made by language learners to understand why they occur, focusing on how people learn a second language and how to teach it better. Also, it studies language learner to find common mistakes like when a native language affects the new language they are learning, or when they apply the rules broadly. On the other hand, we have universal grammar. It says that all humans are born with inborn ability to understand language structures, and universal grammar focusing on or helps explain how languages are structured universally, and how we how can we acquire them.